It seems everyone likes to talk about the 10 best altcoins to buy, but what about the 10 worst or horrible altcoins to buy right now? I want to mention them to you today, but I guess the most important thing that you should take away from this video is not so much the coins per se, but it's the reasons why I've picked these quote-unquote horrible altcoins. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the reasons why. Now, this is all going to be based on risk and reward. You can't do anything in any market, right? In my opinion, if you don't assess risk and reward. Now, in these 10 coins, I've identified that the risk and reward is at best 50-50, meaning that you are running a 50% chance of actually losing money on the coins. And it all falls down to the criteria I'm going to mention that I've chosen for these coins today. And what that kind of looks like on a chart here, if we use Quant as an example, is that, well, it might have a bull run. The reward here being, of course, that we are about to have a bull run. So there's always going to be, I think, at least 50% reward no matter what, okay? But you don't actually end up hitting your targets, right? You might actually fall short even in the green zone, which could mean that if you're trying to sell up here, which you think is a reasonable price, which, again, typically it would be in this case, you actually might not even get your targets, again, because these coins basically hit pretty bad, in my opinion, criteria based on what we've seen so far on them. What we're trying to do is pretty much find the coins at least in about a 66% chance reward rate. Now, you're thinking to yourselves, well, Kyron, where are you getting these numbers from? You pull them out of your ass. What do you mean 66% reward rate? Well, let me kind of identify what I'm talking about here. I've picked these random 5 coins. Just ignore these 5. Some of them are on today's list, but let's talk about why there is at least a 50% reward rate first of all. It's because, again, the bull market should push the price up of almost all coins. So really, you can buy any coin today, not financial advice, and make at least maybe 50%, 100% gains, right? At least maybe a 2x on that. But there is a risk in these coins when you start trying to get, 5, 10, 20x, right? These coins either haven't performed well so far, they're in bad narratives, they have negatively performing market dominance, a bad meme, no social presence, and or horrible tokenomics. I get it, that's a whole bunch of nonsense to a lot of you. I'm going to show you in real time what these projects look like that tick those boxes. Now, obviously, it's even worse if they have multiple of those, which I've pretty much found the coins that do hit multiple of those, okay? Again, I think these are still going to do well. Don't cancel me. Don't think, oh, Kyron, well, I own this coin and you told me it's a horrible coin. Yeah, screw you. My confirmation bias, I like this coin. I've done no research, but I like this coin, so screw you. I get it, right? It's a part of crypto, It's like when someone insults a family member, you know the family member, so you want to back them up, of course. It's understandable, but I'm just here to say this is my opinion based on the criteria. I hope you make money. I've got no reason to not want you to make money in crypto, guys. I hope we all win. It's not the reality of things. That's why I made this channel, to help you identify the good coins and tools that will allow you to, optimize your portfolio and so on. But I'm just here to kind of use this as an educational video, as an educational piece. That's why crypto influencers do not like sticking their necks out and only make the best altcoin, the top altcoin videos. Because why would we stick our necks out for unnecessary criticism, right? It doesn't make any sense to do so, but I'm trying to use this time to educate rather than trying to be edgy, right? So the reason what we're trying to find these better altcoins and what this kind of looks like is obviously the inverse, okay? So the coins that are performing well so far reacted well to positive news, like a roadmap event or an announcement, and the market's kind of gone up and shot up for it. Good narratives, strong market dominance, great memes, strong social presence, and average, at worst, tokenomics, okay? So again, that's not going to mean too much. Basically the inverse of what I just mentioned before, but of course there's still a risk with all of these coins that they might actually have FUD that, tanks the price. So some of these coins, like Render, for example, might even have a 1-to-10 ratio. There's always going to be some risk, but the reward is much higher. And the reason why something like Render would be in that category is because it ticks most of these boxes. Of course, in the same regard, it's not going to have as high multiples because it's more well-known and established at this point. So let's list some of these coins first of all and tell you what they are. Again, I don't want to get into over amount of information. If any of these coins or multiple of the coins stick out, I might make like a top 3 or a top 2, or maybe even a video that just describes the individual coin as to what I'm not liking about it. So drop me down below a comment if you feel like, hey, I want you to talk more about this coin and more of the reasons why you don't like this coin, okay? Again, I've tried to be very careful. The coins I picked today, ones that I'm sure on, that I believe are based on the criteria, horrible. So the number one here is XRP. So I'm only going to mention one, maybe a couple things from each project that I feel are bad. So I'm not going to go into a lot of information because the feedback from everyone on the channel has been, Kyron, we want shorter videos. So here we go, right? Now, XRP's market dominance is looking horrible, like horrible, okay? It's the lowest since it's been back in 2017. It was pretty much near here back in 2021. This might have even been, I'm not even too sure, around the time that they had the big scare with the SEC. And so right now we're at those levels. And what this means for market dominance sense is that XRP's market cap is diminishing even while the the actual market cap overall and all the coins are going down as well. So it's actually underperforming the market, which is underperforming, which is very, very bad, all right? Now, the next thing over here you have to understand as well is the narrative, right? So the narrative for XRP isn't amazing either. So it's in payments, right? This is again taken over here from my bull run cheat sheet. This will be available in the private community, link down below. So if I kind of zoom in here to give you a better idea, payments is the main narrative of XRP, right? So as I say here, weak narrative for the bull run. Not every coin in these narratives will do well. You must locate the best coins based on their meme. I'll tell you more about what the meme is in a second here with another example of another coin, but basically it's the unique selling point. This is why people say, well, old coins don't do well in a bull run, or a new bull run. It's because they're actually wrong in saying that, but the reason why old coins don't do well is because the tech isn't up to the new standards and or the marketing has tapered off over time, likely due to a lack of funds. If the project stays on top of the tech and of the news and stays relevant, it's going to still do well. But unfortunately, well, in my personal opinion, XRP kind of is a bit lackluster there. Do not confuse this with prices not going up at all. Money will still flow into these coins, of course. However, it may not be enough to reach your performance goals. Again, like I showed you before here with Quant. Okay, so it's still going to go up, but it just might not hit the target you're expecting because it's in a weak narrative, like, again, payments for XRP here, meaning you have to be very selective with the coins you pick. Find the ones that really, really stick out. Now, of course, in essence, like I said, in the case this is the price chart for XRP, you're still going to find the price going up a little bit here, but the chance that it does a full 180 flip and goes full bullish is going to completely depend on the marketing and any new updates that comes out. So there's a chance that it still happens. That's why you never want to write any coin off. Take AOS for an example. That coin was a piece of dumpster fire, revitalized the website, and now it's like one of the best things apparently to everyone, okay? So never count a coin out, but we've got to use, again, risk and reward here. Whoa. Have you seen what's going on with Base? In less than 1 year, TVL has already reached $1.75 billion. With Base's on-chain summer starting up and the market getting ready to rip, the opportunity to cash in on this hype is right at our fingertips. So allow me to introduce Dabcat. Dabcat has sponsored today's video to tell you all about what they're bringing to the Base ecosystem. Dabcat is breaking the mold of a meme and building an ecosystem of dApps to give their community the one-stop shop on the Base network. And since Dabcat was created by crypto enthusiasts from a renowned Web3 agency in Miami, they're primed to spread the word about Dabcat throughout the cryptoverse quite quickly. But Dabcat isn't just an interesting meme. They're deploying a DEX on Base for the hundreds of thousands of users who are active over there every day. They're also launching a staking dApp where 50% of all revenue the protocol generates is actually distributed back to the Dabcat stakers, which could be quite lucrative for those in the project early. As a matter of fact, if you drop into their Discord and join the meme competition, you'll be in the running for a shot at 50,000 Dabcat tokens. Dabcat has their token sale running until July 19th, with tokens priced at 1 cent and a launch price of 2.5 cents. So this could be an opportunity to ride the Base hype wave quite well. But make sure you go ahead and do your own research with the links in the description. And of course, a massive thank you to Dabcat for helping us continue to bring you the quality crypto content you love. Next is Starknet. Now, again, there's many reasons why. I think Stocket is a somewhat decent project, actually, but again, there is a few reasons that make it not an ideal coin. Now, tokenomics, as I've mentioned many, many times, is a lot of BS in crypto. People don't understand what tokenomics really is and how it works to the full degree here, but ultimately, just like any market, right? What the majority of people think is what ultimately ends up happening because, again, markets are made by people. So in this case, the tokenomics for Stocket leave room to be desired, right? Early contributors of VCs and investors, okay, make up just under 40%. Now, that doesn't even include any other sort of weird distribution of tokens that may also indicate extra third-party sell pressure. But basically, that's kind of crazy when you compare it to the market average of 17.5%, all right? So 40%, 17.5%, that's over double, which is not ideal. So this is, of course, playing into the tokenomics aspect of things like we spoke about before, right? So horrible tokenomics is definitely one of the reasons we have to be very careful of here. Now, of course, meme. What is the meme? Well, I'm going to say Quant in this case has a pretty poor meme. Now, again, Quant was one of my top holdings. It was actually my second holding, barely behind Hedera, and I managed to sell it all. And right now, I'm up quite well on the coins I've changed out of Quant. Again, I think Quant will still do well. I think it can still 10x from here in this cycle. So just hold your horses. But I look at things risk and reward based. The risk that it can't go to that, in my opinion, far outweighs the potential reward that it does. There's other coins that can very easily 10x, which I want, versus Quant that might possibly max out at a 10x. Therefore, I'm stuck in between limbo somewhere. So the meme in this case is bad because Quant is known as an ERC20 token. It is far more than that. Quant has its own network, but again, what the market decides something is always ends up happening, right? So Quant is just seen as an ERC20 token on Ethereum, so on and so forth. And ultimately, its meme is overshadowed by the likes of, Chainlink and other projects now focusing on tokenization, okay? Quant's also interoperability as well, but we have new projects like Wormhole and so on that are just more relevant to the market. I think Quant, possibly even like XRP, will do well in the next cycle in this whole Web 2 narrative. But ultimately, for now, I don't think it's really going to do amazing, even though it's actually in some pretty good narratives like tokenization, like interoperability. Again, it's just basically not the cream of the crop in this case, and most people seem to think that way. So unfortunately, Quant fails the meme. Is it easy to understand? No. Does it align with crypto philosophy? No. It's ushering in this whole new CBDC thing, goes against the crypto philosophy of screw the one world order and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's one thing to think about. Now, what about social engagements? Well, in this case, IOTA actually ticks the same box, okay? IOTA ticks the box of being a horrible, so to speak, altcoin, because if we come to Lunar Cross and have a look at the 6-month average interactions, I don't think I've found too many coins at this low of an interaction count. This is horrible, abysmal, actually. 13,000 daily active interactions is like extremely bad for an altcoin that has a $700 million market cap. This tells me that it is highly, highly out of fashion right now. And again, you can kind of say, well, hey, what happens if there's a good news announcement? Yeah, it can flip, sure. But we can actually see these by the spikes over here in, previous months. And even on positive news, I believe this is when the ShibaNet came out, it actually only had 300,000 active interactions at that point, which should be its average, basically, for a coin this size. Suffice it to say, I'm very, very disappointed with IOTA's engagements. And again, engagements and social interactions are the reason why a project pumps. You don't just have word of mouth spread around and everyone just buys a coin on a market somewhere. It's all discussed via social, measures, right? YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, and so on. So let's talk about Cardano now. Now, you guys might know my channel. I've spoken about Cardano in a very bullish way many times before in the past, but who cares what I think? It's what the market thinks. Now, I think Cardano has some pretty good technology and it's in some great narratives as well. Most importantly, Web3 Layer 1, a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. But where it lacks, I think, and where people begin to kind of discredit Cardano, which honestly has led it to be on this list, is the fact that it's very low TPS and the fact that, many people have questions regarding its performance, and so be it, right? I think Cardano hasn't performed the best this cycle, and due to the high market cap, because it's not that favored right now, and because it really is, quite hard for it to move up in terms of price, people are seemingly a little bit disappointed with Cardano, which ultimately can be the nail in the coffin for a lot of these coins. Now, the technology, as I mentioned, is pretty good. They actually have a large ecosystem. There's a lot of good things to say about it. And actually, one of the sort of more, catalysts that we can look towards in the next few months here is their final update here. I think it's Voltaire that's coming out, which may actually give it some final legs to stand on, which may actually make it a good coin for this bull run. But until this comes out and until we realize how well it performs, I think all we have to stand on right now is the sentiment and the dominance. And right now, the dominance is at lows way back from 2020. If it breaks this level of support, we may see Cardano fall down even further, breaking past the number 10 spot like it kind of is teetering on already. So Cardano makes it to this list, unfortunately. I mean, I personally love the coin. I love Charles, but again, it's not what I think, it's what the market thinks. Now, what about meme coins? Well, actually, this might be a bit surprising to many of you. I've added Shiba Inu to this list, mainly because Shiba hasn't performed amazingly compared to other meme coins so far. And again, because of the high market cap on this coin, it's maybe not going to do amazingly. Maybe you could even throw Doge in that mix, but the benefit of Doge is that you have Elon Musk sometimes tweeting about it as well. So if we have a look at the narrative index over here and we have a look at Shiba Inu, again, this is from the bull run cheat sheet, it's actually only up around 30% from the 2023 low till now. And again, you compare it to some of the new meme coins, Dog with Hat, Flocky, and Pepe, they're performing much better. Like I said before, even Dogecoin isn't performing very well, but at least it has potential catalysts that might come up to give it some more support. So in my opinion, I think Shiba could constitute a potential, again, horrible coin, but it is a meme coin. And again, meme coins have been doing quite well. The question is, I think, how much more do meme coins still have left in the tank? Many people, not including myself, have weighed in the fact that meme coins possibly might not have much more. They might be like the DeFi summer of this bull run. They might be one of the earliest to pump and then kind of be quite stagnant for the rest of the market. So that's why it's made to this list based on performance so far versus what might come in the next few months. Vchain also makes it to this list, not because, again, I don't like it, guys. Most of these coins I do like, again, but we just have to use the analytics. I know I have to keep mentioning it because I know people are going to assume I think straight up, I just don't like these coins. No, all right, it doesn't work like that. I like most cryptocurrencies that are genuine products. And the reason why I've added Vchain to this list, like Cardano, like XRP, is because the dominance is horrific, basically. It's horrible, right? It's been trending downwards for months now, actually years, to be honest with you. And we're at support as well right now as well. So we'll see how far lower we do go. If we break this, there isn't too much beneath it. We can really sort of go for support. So I'm not entirely sure what happens from here. All I do hope, again, for everyone holding Vchain is we spike up. Now, I've made many review videos on Vchain. I think it's a quality project. It's a Web 2 layer 1, so it's in a pretty horrible narrative. So that doesn't really help its case of flipping around its market dominance and therefore performing quite well this cycle. But what is a good relief sign, I will admit this for Vchain, is that it does have pretty high active interactions. 1.1 million active daily in the last 3 months, and click the last 6 months, it's even more, which is a very good sign to see. The market cap right here is about, 2 billion or so. So that's actually not too bad at all right? That's not a worrying sign for me. So we'll have to see how it performs. But again, getting the general market to be interested in a Web 2 focused coin that's really, really tying into, supply chain, may be a bit more difficult when you have some of the newer chains with a much smaller market cap, like Energy Web Token, for example, or Morpheus Network, possibly being more appealing, specifically because Vchain is proof of authority, meaning that it's very, very centralized. So here's a coin that I've had mixed feelings with for a very long time now, and that's KCS, or KuCoin token. Now, these exchange tokens, they can be tricky because out of the blue, they can pump based on exchange-related news. Take Crypto.com from the last cycle. They pretty much became the Staples Center, go-to sponsor, where it's now like the Crypto.com arena. It was one of those big arenas in the US, and that caused a lot of buy pressure for, again, Crypto.com. Just like any of the coins on this list, there can be catalysts to make these coins pump up. They're not horrible forever, right? But in this case, I'm not too confident in KuCoin token. When we have a look at the trading volume, and you guys know me, basing everything from the trading volume isn't the best way to do things, but just based on this, I haven't seen a coin with such shocking trading volume before and this much of a market cap, okay? So in my opinion, it's not amazing, and this is definitely reflected in the active interactions. The last 6 months, 123,000, which again is definitely in the lower bracket from what I would like to see. So again, word of mouth can't travel that far. We have to have strong social engagements, and in this case, it's definitely lackluster for KuCoin. And what I would really stress to people is the fact that when you're looking for what may change in the future, right? What may make, KuCoin, suddenly an appealing project in the next 3, 6, 12 months, you have to look at what the project is and what the likelihood of a bullish announcement is. Take Hedera, for example, right? Hedera's been, producing nothing but positive announcements and really large announcements. So the fact that they launch even bigger announcements in a bull run, which, mind you, these projects are smart. They know to release the biggest and best news in a bull run for max exposure, right? The chance that Hedera releases something like that is very, very strong, a very good chance. Whereas KuCoin, what do they have to stand on? Again, they could go out and do something like Crypto.com, but chances are highly unlikely, all right? Again, that risk and reward is not in our favor, personally speaking. Casper is the next coin here. This is another Web 2 layer 1 project, okay, which again falls into this like 6 out of 10, personally speaking, subjective narrative ranking. Not just that, of course, it's not performing the best so far, right? Pretty much since the last 12 months, it's a lot lower, right? From open to close, most projects, generally speaking, are at least up some percentage, whereas Casper's actually down, unfortunately. Now, don't click all because this is very deceiving, right? You kind of want to be tracking information from here. Very much has an ICP-ish chart. Doesn't mean it's a bad coin from that, by the way. But yeah, this trend downwards isn't very appealing to me. I managed to get out of my position a while back. But again, not financial advice, not telling you what to do here. The meme in this case is quite poor as well for Casper for this bull run. For the next bull run, I think it'll do great. But for this bull run, a modular blockchain that, again, is very, very similar to the likes of what the Ethereum original scalability roadmap was supposed to kind of produce. These guys have a lot of awesome stuff. You can see they're even, mentioning the word AI to try to gain more relevance in this cycle. But their main sort of USP here is they are a blockchain that is modular, that is designed to be extremely fast, and also allow very complex applications to be built on top of it, specifically enabling people to actually go in and change the code so they're upgradable smart contracts. But again, for this cycle, it doesn't have that big wow factor. Now, we have looked at the interactions. This is a good sign to see. It's actually not too bad. 305,000 daily active interactions in the last 6 months, and a little bit less in the last 3 months, but that's okay because the market cap is about 300 million. So a good sign to see is that there are a lot of interactions happening, and we can also see the people who are talking about it the most, right? Tokenizer, a good friend of mine, he is the #1 influencer, and we do have some unrelated to the actual project influencers talking about it. The reason I mention that is because if you find that the top creators that are talking about projects aren't related to the actual, project, that's like free marketing for projects. That's what we need to gain more interest. So that's a good sign to see. So there is some relief, in my opinion, for Casper. Now, last but definitely not least, we have Axie Infinity. Now, don't get me wrong. This coin could do well still, but we got to weigh up the chances that it does, okay? And the chance that it does will have to be that they come out with some pretty groundbreaking new upgrades to the project, okay? And that's all because these sort of play-to-earn games, if you will, they pretty much are, in my experience, contingent on one cycle. They're kind of most favored towards one cycle. This was very popular last cycle. People were making lots of money on it. But just like Illuvium and others, they really have to stick out and shine, I believe, to really get above the rest. Typically, it's new games that really do the best, okay? Or games that haven't had their actual, main project out yet, like Illuvium, even if they were around in the last cycle. So again, that's all I have to stand by for Axie Infinity is just the potential chance that it doesn't meet the same demand it had in the last cycle, where it was a real large crowd favorite. So who knows? In my opinion, I hope I'm wrong for all of you holding this token. But nevertheless, guys, that's going to do today's video, okay? These are 10 horrible altcoins, at least based on criteria. I want to say as well, though, please just understand, if I could wave a magic wand, I hope that they all do well, because I know you guys probably hold these coins, right? But this is just based on what we know so far. So thanks for watching. Talk to you all soon. Take care.